Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Steph, and if you're new here, I'm Steph. So this week I really wanted to try another experiment video, but the purpose for this experiment video is kind of self-serving because I have trouble sleeping. I have really bad insomnia. So this week I really wanted to try to swap out my screen time at night for reading. And when I say screen time at night, I don't necessarily mean like I'm gonna stop looking at my screen a certain amount of time before bed. I mean that because I'm an anxious person, I tend to watch YouTube videos while I'm falling asleep. So I've probably watched all of your content, but I haven't commented because I'm falling asleep while watching it. The reason why I do this is because whenever there's somebody talking to me while I'm falling asleep, I don't think. So obviously I know there are a million trillion studies out there that show screen time before bed, especially as you're falling asleep, really disrupts your REM cycle. So the point of this isn't really to see how much I can read in a week. It's just seeing if swapping out my phone time for reading time at night helps me in my sleeping patterns. Now, I'll tell you, I've already done the experiment. This is the end of the experiment today, and I'm filming the intro, and I will tell you that a week isn't going to determine whether or not your sleeping patterns are going to change. There's a lot of other factors that play into it. So this video is kind of a mess and I learn a lot along the way, but let's just jump right into day one of the experiment. So it's night number one where I'm trying not to watch YouTube videos before bed. I'm trying not to use my phone before bed, and instead I will be reading. And I have some books. I have 3 different books that I'm interested in reading right now, so I might do like a little try a chapter thing. It seems fitting since the first time I ever did a challenge video in the past, which was the reading an hour a day before bed. Well, it turned into reading an hour a day before bed. But anyway, when I did that video, I did a little try a chapter tag at the beginning, and I think it's only fitting to do that again. So the first one is Every Heart a Doorway. This is actually a reread for me. I have read the first 3 in the Wayward Children series, but I stopped at the 3rd one because I wasn't enjoying it. But I've recently heard a little bit more about this series and the way that it's structured, and it got me really interested again. So I did decide to try to reread this. And then from the library, I have Nettle and Bone, which I'm really excited about because I did read T. Kingfisher's other book, The Hollow Places, which was like a 3-star read for me. I really enjoyed it, but it didn't leave an impression on me. But this book sounds so intriguing, and I've been in my spooky, scary mood recently because it's summer. I think I said this last year too. Every time it starts to get hot, I want creepy shit. I want creepy books. I don't know why. So this is a contender. This will be getting read sometime this week because this is only a 14-day loan and I've already had it for like 5 days. So I definitely will be reading this at some point, but we will find out if tonight is that night. And then lastly, which has a completely different vibe than all of the other books, is The Romantic Agenda. I'm actually really excited about this because this is about an asexual main character and it's a romance. So I'm very excited about this one. But again, it's very different than the other 2. So I'm interested to see what I end up reading, or what sucks me in, I guess. So yeah, this is the 3rd contender. So I definitely didn't think that this experiment would be life-changing the first day that I did it, and it was quite the opposite. I didn't sleep well at all. I actually think this is the worst I've slept all week. Part of me definitely thinks that's anxiety. A lot of stuff happened with Olive over the weekend. Olive had like an emergency vet appointment, and over the weekend she's just been going through it, so I think that's part of it. She's fine. I talk about it in another vlog, but just to let you know, she's fine, but I've been very anxious about it. So I think that's where it's coming from. I'm hoping tonight will be a little bit better, but I always have Sunday scaries before work, so we'll see. Anyway, of the 3 books that I mentioned last night, I actually chose Every Heart a Doorway. This one just pulled me in last night, and I decided that throughout this week I'm just going to be rereading these. I have the first 3. I think I could finish the first 3 for this experiment. I did end up getting to chapter 2. What page is this? This is 33 pages. I ended up stopping at chapter 2, not because I was actually really that tired, but because I was like losing focus when reading the book. I think this is partly because despite my last experiment where I was reading an hour a day and it was primarily before bed, I haven't fully kept up with that. I did for a while. I do it on and off, but like I said, I mainly watch videos to fall asleep because like the noise makes my brain shut off. It's not the best, I know. That's why I'm trying to do this experiment, to see like, does this help me and should I just do this from now on? But first day, kind of a bust, I guess, but I also didn't read to like being tired because I just couldn't focus on the book. So anyway, point being, I think that I could get through these this week reading before bed, and hopefully tonight is better, but I will update you then. Good morning. I actually slept, so that's a relief. Who knows if it was the tea or not? We'll find out tonight. And then I did read like 2 chapters of Every Heart a Doorway, so I think I'm on chapter 4 now. I am really loving my reread of this book. Like, I like it. I feel even more than I did the first time. Also, the first time I listened to it on audiobook, so it's definitely a different experience reading it via now my Kindle. I realized I had a copy on my Kindle as well, and it's easier to hold my Kindle in bed. Also, I don't have to have that light on. You know what I'm saying? You get it. All that being said, you know, when you haven't really slept well for like days, weeks, a lifetime, and then you finally like have a full night's sleep, and the next day you wake up and you're destroyed. Like, I am so tired right now and I have such a long day, but we're gonna work out right now. Maybe that'll wake me up and eat, get ready for work. I'll also probably read Every Heart a Doorway on my breaks. I have a few breaks today. I have a lunch break as well. And I have some time off of the desk, so I could probably listen to an audiobook. And I'll update you on what I'm reading. You know, spice this vlog up. Hello, I'm drinking my tea and winding down. I don't know if I actually mentioned the tea. I know I mentioned it this morning, but I was like really out of it. I bought some sleepy time tea and I wanted to experiment if that would like help me wind down at night at all or make me more relaxed. I don't know if I believe in sleepy time tea, but maybe the placebo effect is working because I did sleep last night, like I said. Unfortunately, I didn't get to read at work because it was an exhausting Monday. Hopefully tonight I can make a good dent into Every Heart a Doorway. I really want to finish it soon. I was out here talking to you guys like, man, I'm gonna finish the first 3 books in the Wayward Children series through this week. I'm gonna be reading up a storm right before bed, as if I'm not trying to fall asleep. Good morning. It was another night of not sleeping, so I think the tea was just a placebo effect last time. But I read 2 chapters, so I think I'm at the halfway point of the book by this point. And I'm loving my reread of The Wayward Children's, or Every Heart a Doorway. I'm loving it. I really am. I remember liking it the first time. I think I gave it like 4 stars, but this feels more like a 5 stars. I'm glad that I'm rereading it. And it makes me excited to get to Beneath the Sugar Sky, because that's the one that I gave up on. I think I read halfway through it and then I was like, this is not for me. I know you can skip books and that like you don't have to read all of the books in order to understand the storyline. I totally get that, but I just have this weird thing where I really just want to read them all and in order. So we're gonna see how I feel about Beneath the Sugar Sky at some point, maybe not this week, because my reading before bed is not as much as I thought it would be. I read really slow at night, I feel like, probably because I'm tired and I never sleep. But as far as this challenge goes, I think it's been a little bit hard so far because of how erratic my schedule has been. Mondays I don't normally get off late. I picked up a shift because so many people are sick and on vacation right now. So technically I would have gotten off at 6 yesterday, but I ended up working an extra 3 hours just to cover a shift. But ultimately, I think my big problem is the inconsistency of my schedule and when I go to sleep. I don't go to sleep at the same time every night, although my body generally tries to fall asleep at 11:30 every single night without fail. And I only know that because I have like a alarm thing on the health app set where it reminds me that 11:30 is approaching, and by that time when I get that reminder, I'm usually like almost dead to the world, you know? There are a lot of things to be said for how my routine is wrong. That's number one. There's something to be said about having a routine so that your body can like shut down and do what it needs to do, but I'm not an expert. I have a lot of anxiety all the time. I have a lot of anxiety about my job and the things that I'm not doing or am doing or not doing well or need to do better, or the things that I need to change, and all of the things that are worrying me. And at night, it especially hits me hard. So obviously there's a lot that I'm doing wrong. And 3 days of me taking away, for the most part, screen time before bed and reading before bed instead isn't going to change my life. But I do hope that by next Sunday, I can see where I'm going wrong. Hello, it's Tuesday night. I keep thinking it's like Thursday, which is very disappointing for me as somebody who has Fridays off. So it's like 10:30. This is my last late night at work, so tomorrow will hopefully be better. I'm actually really tired right now, and hopefully that means I'll actually sleep through the night. But that being said, I once again did not make any progress in Every Heart a Doorway this afternoon. Yesterday was rough. I was like falling asleep while reading the chapters. Anyway, I'm not drinking tea tonight. I actually forgot that it existed, and it's not worth it. So we're gonna raw dog sleep tonight. Hello, you know the drill. I'm about to go work out, so I look like this. I kinda slept. So I've had this problem for a while where I fall asleep fine. I fall asleep whether I'm reading or whether I'm watching the YouTube videos. And I was under the impression that maybe the problem with my screen time before bed is that, you know, I do wake up in the middle of the night to take my headphones out and put my phone away. And I thought that maybe because of that disruption, like that has been one of the biggest problems with my sleep. But it's still happening. And again, this is only like the 3rd or 4th night that I have swapped out my screen time for reading a book before bed, and like I get equally as sleepy. I fall asleep just fine, but then 2-3 hours later I wake up and then I'm tossing and turning until the morning. I do feel like I fall back asleep at some point, but then it's just like really not restful sleep. But with that being said, I have hit 50% in the Wayward Children series, or Every Heart a Doorway. Obviously, I was under this impression that I was going to be reading so much before bed, but that's not the case. Like, I can make it through 2 chapters, and then I'm like, I know I keep saying that I'm gonna read it during the day, and then I read other things. I didn't realize how long it was gonna take me to read this novella before bed. But I was thinking about picking up a book that I've avoided for a really long time because the fact that I struggle with sleep. I just don't want to read this book, but it might be beneficial to me. And it's Why We Sleep. I actually think Brie from Locked Booktition talked about this last year, how she read it and it changed a lot for her. So I'm thinking if I can find the audiobook at the library, maybe I'll start that. This lighting is very bright, but hello, I'm very tired, so we'll see if I even make it through like one chapter of Every Heart a Doorway. Hopefully I will. I'm still only 50% in because I'm a loser and I didn't read it all today. Work was, again, really busy. And I keep thinking that it's my Friday. And then every day I wake up knowing that I actually have to go to work and it's not my Friday. So that's cool. And update, I went to the library. I mean, I work at the library, but I was at the library today and I looked to see if we have Why We Sleep, physical, ebook, audio. They were all checked out. So hopefully a physical copy will come in sometime soon, and then maybe I'll start reading that and we can get some tips for this video. I could also just buy it. Hello. I actually slept. Hello. So it's my Friday, which means that I'm in a very good mood because I don't have to go to work for 4 days since there's a holiday. Not a holiday that I want to celebrate, but nonetheless, I get some days off. I did finally finish Every Heart a Doorway. Please, everybody hold your round of applause. I know. Yeah, I finished it. It was 5 stars. For sure liked it better reading it physically the second time around, even though I really enjoyed the audiobook experience when I first read it. Just something about this experience was better for me, and I really enjoyed it. I guess I probably didn't say what Every Heart is a Doorway is about. There's a school for children who have found doors that lead to other worlds, and these worlds are generally tailored to that person. So they are a place where that person feels like they are perfectly understood and that the place is perfectly tailored to who they are as people and kind of what they love and are passionate about. And a lot of the times the kids that find these doors are the ones that feel really out of place in our normal world. And so the school that they end up going to is for the kids that ended up getting shut out of that world that they found years ago, and a lot of them have the hope that they'll be able to reopen that door, but the likelihood of that happening is very slim. So they go to this school to kind of get therapy and be around people who understand them, because a lot of times their parents don't understand what they've gone through and don't really believe what they're saying. So I am really excited to move into the next one because I do personally feel like the second one, I don't remember a lot from it. And then the third book, I definitely blocked out of my mind. So hopefully tonight I will probably start Down Among the Sticks and Bones. I did make myself a cup of the Sleepy Time tea, so we'll see if that does anything for me. I also am not like anxious about going to work, so like that could be really helpful. And then I did exercise after work instead of before work. I don't know if that's going to be helpful. It's like 8:30 and I did sleep last night. The science is out on whatever works to help me go to sleep. And I also got through 4 chapters of Down Among the Sticks and Bones. I wasn't super tired when I got into bed, so I read a lot more than I have been. The second book I know was like everybody's favorite. Out of the 3 that I had read, it was also my favorite, but I'm more excited to actually move forward with the series because the other books are the ones that are the most intriguing to me, which is why I wanted to move on with the series. I think In an Absent Dream is one that like a lot of people really like, and I've been interested in that one. Also, I really want to read that Horse Girl one. I'm also kind of excited that I waited so long to get back into the series because there are like 8 out right now. Is that a lie? That might be a lie. There are quite a few out right now. So I have some material. As for how this experiment is going, it's Friday. We have like 2 days left. I don't really know how it's going. I've been sticking to it. Like I've been sticking to not watching YouTube videos before bed and trying to limit my screen time. Now, maybe the problem that I'm running into here is that I'm not actually strictly saying at this time I'm going to stop looking at my phone altogether. That really hasn't been a thing. And I know that studies have shown that if you stop looking at your screen, like I think 30 minutes before bed, then you're more likely to be able to wind down and sleep better. Usually from the time that I start reading my book to the time that I like start drifting off, it's about 30 minutes. And I don't know if that's actually sufficient. It's actually really funny because I feel super behind on everybody's content. Like I have so many videos that I need to catch up on that people have been putting out that I've been excited to watch, but I normally watch most people's content at night. And now in the mornings, I've been dedicating that time to like trying to work out and get my life together. So I'm feeling weird. You know, when you change a lot of things at one time and you feel really weird. Maybe this wasn't the right time to do the sleep thing, but I've been struggling with sleep for so much of my life that I think experiments like this are really cool. I know a week is probably too short of a time since a habit is built within like 28 to 30 days. I think potentially I could have planned it better in terms of the rules that I gave myself, mainly because I am not somebody who can do like that cold turkey thing. Like if I need to change something in my life, it's gonna be low and slow. I can't just take something out of my life one day and then be like, all right, cool. It was a good time. It was a good run. I'm somebody who has to find like alternatives to something and like really mentally prepare myself. I don't like change very much. I'm very habitual. And when my habits are thrown off, or like core habits that I feel like get me through my days, when they're thrown off, then I'm not having a good time. I wish I weren't like that. So all I'm trying to say is I'm struggling. Good morning, it's like 7:30. Yes, I'm still wearing the same shirt that I've been wearing throughout every clip in the morning. Please mind your business. Contact my lawyer if you have any questions. This shirt is just so soft, you know, and it just cozy. Okay, so last night I wasn't super tired when bedtime rolled around. So I actually read for a while. I read like 4 chapters and I'm 50% through Down Among the Sticks and Bones, which, you know, I'm going faster through it than every heart a doorway. I didn't really sleep that well. Like I definitely fell asleep and I didn't wake up a lot during the night, but I did continuously toss and turn like early this morning, but it's more so because I've been anxious about today. Olive goes back to the vet. I know I said earlier in this video that she had an emergency vet visit, but she went to the emergency vet hospital and they helped out with what was going on. And then she's now going to her primary vet regarding everything that she went to the vet for in the first place, and then hopefully some other stuff that we've been concerned about that apparently the vet doesn't seem as concerned about. I don't know. I'm not a vet. I know I had you fooled. I know, but I'm not. So that all being said, I didn't sleep that well because I'm pretty anxious about that. But yeah, today I have the most energy out of all of the days that I've woken up. I need to not do updates in the morning is what I'm getting at. Anyway, I'm gonna go get ready to work out because that's like a thing I do now. Good morning. It's the last day of this experiment and we're gonna talk about how I feel like it went, what I could have done better. But as for how last night went, I did not sleep. I think I mentioned in the beginning of this vlog, and maybe I mentioned again, but Olive has had to go to the vet a couple of times. And if you know anything about cats, when you have 2 cats and you take one to the vet and then you bring it home, the other cat gets very upset. So Fitzy, my other cat, she's been very upset and she's been acting super weird. And I am like her comfort person, I guess. So last night she was just crawling all over me and being really weird, and it kept waking me up and like giving me anxiety because I was like, just be okay. But she's doing okay this morning. Like her and Olive are actually like interacting. So she's doing okay. And she's getting over it, which is great because I really need her to get over it. In other news, I did end up finishing Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and I am so excited that I started rereading this. Down Among the Sticks and Bones was definitely a 5 stars for me. If you don't know, it's Jack and Jill's story. You meet Jack and Jill in the first book, and now you're visiting their world with them and like how they got into this world and what kind of things they went through and experienced. Like I said before, Every Heart a Doorway is kind of like a portal fantasy, so different people, different kids have found doors into these other worlds. And Jack and Jill's world is really like dark and gritty and murderous, and you know I love dark, gritty, and murder. I'm actually really glad that I reread this one because I didn't remember half as much of this book as I remembered Every Heart a Doorway, which makes sense because when I was reading Down Among the Sticks and Bones the first time, I was traveling, and like traveling makes me anxious, so I probably didn't even pay attention to half of the audiobook. But this time I did pay attention and I did really like it, so it's 5 stars. So we're gonna be moving into Beneath the Sugar Sky sometime soon, probably this week, maybe. I don't know, my reading is all over the place. As for this experiment, it was all over the place, and one of the things that I wanted to say related to my cat keeping me up. I do feel like there are a lot of external factors within this experiment that really prevent somebody from getting a good night's sleep, right? Especially for me. I feel like this week a lot of external factors played into me not sleeping well, and regardless of the fact that I had the best intentions of swapping out my phone time at night for reading, I wasn't super strict about the time that I did that, and I think that played into it being a problem for me. So like obviously, as you know, a lot of these experiment videos, people will switch out their phone time for reading and end up actually reading a ton, and it took me like 7 years to read Every Heart a Doorway. So that was not the case for me. But like I said in the beginning of this video, like the real point wasn't about getting a lot of reading done. It was about seeing if I can change my habits and get better night's sleep by reading before bed. I think I messed up a lot in this video, to be honest. I should have definitely like put stricter rules to this video, and that's why I kind of want to do this again. But this time maybe be reading Why We Sleep, which still has not come in from the library. So, and really take into practice whatever that book is telling me to do. So I think I'll do that next time. My battery and my memory card became full. Obviously I came here very prepared, but what I was trying to say is thank you for sticking through this video. If you did, it's a video that I made. If you did make it this far, you can leave the little Z emoji or like a crescent moon. Someone sleeping. Is that even an emoji? I don't think so. Anyway, thank you again for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.